Hello, welcome everyone. If you are entering, I know there's a few more in the waiting room who are coming in. We'll wait a minute. Happy International Women's Day. Just waiting as people are entering from the waiting room. So glad to be with you today. Yes, everybody's trickling in. All right. I'm going to get started. Just so happy that you're here. Thank you for joining us to kick off our Women Are Resilient speaker series and celebrate International Women's Day today. We're so excited for this series and hope it will be an inspiration to our community and a reminder during Women's History Month that history is being made right now by women in our communities. Thanks for joining us as we continue to learn and grow together. It's truly a gift. Before I introduce our speaker for today, just a couple administrative items to note for the security of our presentation and to keep our planned time for today. We have disabled audio and video options for all attendees, but you can chat with a Treetop staff member using the chat feature if you have any questions or concerns throughout the presentation. Today, we are joined by Rebecca Deng, an author, speaker, and activist who shared her story of life before, during, and after resettlement in her book, What They Meant for Evil, that was published in 2019 to much critical acclaim. A member of South Sudan's Dinka tribe, Rebecca is one of 89 girls who were resettled in the US in 2000 after living in Kakuma refugee camp in northern Kenya for 8 years. She became a US citizen in 2006. Among her many accomplishments in professional endeavors, Rebecca has spoken at the United Nations and served as a Refugee Congress delegate to the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees in Washington, D.C. Rebecca is currently working with the Kent County Health Department and Treetops Collective to increase access among new American communities to health and mental health resources around West Michigan. We are so grateful for her leadership in this community. Welcome, Rebecca.
Thank you so much, Tara, and thank you everyone for coming in. I know that it's lunchtime, but for you today to take that time, if you are a woman, just know that you are treating yourself. So thank you for joining us, and for others people too that are cheering us on today that are not women. Thank you so much for your encouragement and for your love. So this week is a Women Week, I will just say it, and I just want you guys to know that we love you, we appreciate you, we really just want to encourage you to be who you are and to continue inspiring others. So I'm going to focus this today, my talk of women being resilient. And as I start the resiliency of women, I feel that like women have been resilient since the beginning of time. And I will begin with by this thing. When for those people who are people of faith, they talk about like a Satan coming and approaching a woman, and she was there with a man. To me, as a person that grew up in war-torn countries, I have never seen an enemy going to the weak person. That always blows my mind. Every time I read that passage that they come first to a woman. So resiliency of women is something that have been there with us since the beginning of time. What is not there is that it have not been grown and have not been encouraged to be to its fullest, but the resiliency of women have been there. I will begin with the first women that I have seen the resiliency in them, and those were South Sudanese women when I was growing up during what they call a South Sudanese civil war. These women, they were the one raising the children while the men are fighting the war. They were the one nursing people that are brought back from front line to heal and to go back to war. They were the one growing food for the children and for the soldiers and for anybody that passed the alert. These were the first women that I have saw the resiliency. And as I do my life, ups and downs, they have inspired me and they have always encouraged me to get up again because I have seen it. I have seen them doing that. Again, when I was in Kakuma refugee camp, which is most of you might not connect with, it was the women that were there most of the time. And these women, they were our mentors, they were our teachers, they were our mothers. For those who were motherless and fatherless, they were there for them. And also, these women were more than that. They were peacekeepers. When there are issues arising in a community, they will talk to the community and they will encourage them to love one another and to be there for each other. And most importantly, they share everything that they have. These women growing up, watching them, cheering, and to say that, you know what, we have abundant, even if we get a small Russian card or Russian food, we can share it with others people. These women teach me what it means to challenge the situation that was devastating, not enough resources, but they say, you know what, we're going to share. If we make one scoop of rice today, we will share among 5 children. These were my early inspiring women that are women of resilience. As I come to United States and settle here and being among what we call the new Americans or immigrants and refugees, I also see the resiliency in their face. These women were uprooted from their cultures, from their way of life, from things that they have known and come to the new learn. And they wake up every morning facing to deal in a new language, in a new custom, new food, new everything, and then continue living a life. These women are resilient women. I don't want to leave out our women that have received us in this community that we came in. Some of them volunteer, picking new American up to take them to appointment, to help them with ESL classes, to just be friend, to be a person that will have a tea with you. These women are what I consider as resilient women. And today, as we celebrate International Women's Day, and as I look at the pictures that people are sharing or hear stories all around our globe, I see the resiliency of our women in these stories, whether they are in New York City, whether they are here in Grand Rapids, or whether they are in a war-torn countries. You see the resiliency every day of what they choose to do. And that thing that they choose to do is to grow life and to give potential to their community, either through childbearing, either through services, either through work. They are doing it every day. So I'm thankful for each of you that come today here. You are resilient. And this is something that have been in you since the beginning of time. Sometimes you seem like it's not there or seem like it is not there, but it is there. And so as we celebrate today, just know that you are resilient. And you can link with others, women that are resilient too. We go through life sometime, and for me, this year, I'm really focusing on the resiliency of others, women, and how they have inspired me. And that's what I want each of you to take today. Look out for stories. These women, they might not be women that you expected. It might be somebody in a village, and you hear the story and that they have lived life that is courageous. Today, one of the things that I want to leave with you all as a word of encouragement is from this, my necklace. It have a word on it that say courage. Courage is when you choose to question cultural norms or policies or beliefs that don't do good to humanity. So today, as we are women of the world, women that are resources, women that I call that they are matriarch, or women that I call they are feminist, when you reach there to know who you are above others women that might not know where they fit in. So today, my word to you is have a courage to work with your sister, to work with your community, have a courage to challenge things that are not they don't support justice or peace or just for people to be themselves. I ask you to have courage to challenge that. I have a deep belief in me, and I believe that one day when women of the world come together and really come together, links hand and fight for the justice of the offspring of all of the women of the world and not only just your own children, things will change. And I deeply believe in that. I know that today is Women's Day, but I want to challenge our women. Are we really honestly there to make sure that the offspring of every woman in the world have the opportunity in life that your children enjoy, that they have education, safety, security, or do you work to bring others women down based on your cultural belief, race, religion? I want all the women to think about that today. I know today I can just talk about, encouraging you like flowers and like enjoy, but we have a task here, women. We have a lot of work to do. And that work that I encourage you again is challenge things in your community that are not bringing good to humanity. We have like here in the United States, I'm here in the United States, my friend with people from different cultures. I'm taking out the color because I feel like sometimes color is there, but I feel we are more of our experience than the skin of our color. So are you intermingling with others, women that have different experience than you? Are you encouraging them? Are you living a life with them? So that's my challenge for you today. Have courage to reach out to others, women. Have courage to reach out to your inner self, because at the end of the day, I truly believe that we cannot give what we don't have. And so I encourage you today to take time as a woman to just reflect and to know who you are. And as you take those things, the inner growth, the beauty, you will be a good person to your neighbor. And I'm just really happy for today that we have a day that is dedicated to the women. But also, I know that it is a day that comes with a lot of responsibility, and it is a day that comes with a lot of calling and courage. So, as you celebrate today, celebrate hard, but know that you are hard too with the task that is on your feet and your hand to do for the world. Here, right here in Michigan, we are here at Treetop, and we are resilient women. We work with women from different walk of life, and these women have inspired me more than I would ever imagine. And that's the thing about human experience. Sometimes you think that you've been through a lot, like you just hear Tara reading my story as a former lost girl of Sudan, live in Kakuma refugee camp for 8 years. But sometimes when I hear a story of a little girl that grew up here in the United States, never been outside of the country, but went from foster care, or just life was hard, we might have different experiences and we were in different places, but we feel the same. So I just want you to really look deep in your community and encourage any women today to live to their potential and to say that, you know what, we are resilient women. And you know what, the resiliency that I'm telling you, it is in you. And I'm going to be here for you today to just keep encouraging you to be a person of potential. So here at Treetop, we invite you today, our sisters and brothers that have joined us online, to link us arms with us in encouraging the women that we work with and in growing ourselves to be resilient women and to own our place of resiliency boldly and also with humility, where we say that, you know what, we don't have it all, but we know that we have the resiliency in us and it will keep carrying us on. So as you go out today, be resilient, be kind to yourself, be kind to your neighbor, find ways to be involved. That's a part of resiliency. It is not just an idea. The resiliency have an action, and the action of that is really be friend with somebody that is different from you. Is to find an organization that work with women and put your time in, either it's your time in resources, um, money, advice, just being there. One of the things that I know as an American that we are not good at is to give time to just sit with somebody to have tea. Even 1 hour of tea time or 20 minutes of tea time, it is a gift. Something is a gift when you think of it and you just provide it. So as you go out today in your community, be that person, be courageous. And again, the word I use with you, I live with you today is courage on my giving key. And one day I hope that I will give this actual giving key to one woman in the world. I don't know who that person is, but I know when I meet that person and I know they need this word more than I do, I will hand it on. So today, find something that you can hand on, something that you learn as a woman of resilience, and something that is in you, or something that you read, or something that you think you will do in the future. Just know that you can give and be courageous, choose to challenge, and you are resilient. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. Thank you for your time and for your words and for sharing your story. We do have time for just a couple questions. So if anyone else wants to add questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat box and I will share those with Rebecca. But one of the questions that just came to mind as I was listening is what is giving you hope? What are you seeing in the community that excites you and just gives you joy and hope as you think about resiliency in the community, but also as we are finding things to challenge and to change? Where are you finding hope?
I'm finding hope in the actual thing, the action. For example, like today being here at Treetop, and that this organization is really working with Neo American. We haven't got it all together. We have a way to go and to learn, but we took an action to say that we want to be with the women. I find hope when there are issues, when there is a discussion of people coming together from different background and addressing things, addressing racial issues, and that people are giving a space. That's where I see hope. We are not completely there 100% and or even 50% sometimes, but I think that those things give me hope. It give me hope when I see a group of people coming together and say, things are not right here. We have to change them. They are not going well, and it is going to be an awkward discussion. And but we will do it. So that's give me hope that we have people in our community that are willing to sit in that discomfort for the betterment of our society and our culture, and for the betterment of the next generation. Because what we choose to challenge today will give the next generation a chance to breathe and to be creative in that environment, to choose a different thing. Every generation have something that is left for them. For us, people in the 50s choose something, in the 60s choose something that they fight for, and we are trying to make that better. So yeah, my hope is what I see in people that choose to challenge any kind of situation, either like we have resources and these Neo American here need to be equipped. They are part of our community. That's why we call them Neo American. They are American. They just Neo. And if you are new in a new place, you know what that felt. If you move to a new place, let alone if you are in a new place where you don't have connection and you don't have a language and all of that. So I find hope in that we can have people that can rally around.
That's beautiful. I have one more question. In your book, you talk about the different ways that cultures view community. And when you lost your mom and you saw women rise to care for you, can you tell us a little bit more about your culture that inspires you as a woman?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so when I came to United States actually and hear the word orphan, I think that's the first time I heard it. In our culture, it is there you can be called orphan. But to be honest with you, when my mom died when I was young, so I don't even know her, but I was raised by my grandmother and my uncle's wife. And these women didn't treat me any different from their children. I pretty much grow up like their kid. So that's the resiliency that I see in our women. And that's what I meant when I said it early, that when all the women of the world come together one day and say that I honestly and truly believe in my heart that what I wish for my offspring is what I wish for the next women offspring, whether they are here in this country or overseas or anywhere. One we are there, a lot of things will get changed in the world. So for me, being a orphan and having a woman that were rallying, there was no day I ever felt actually like I'm an orphan, because I was not, it didn't show in how I was treated. I was treated like their own children. If they have something for their kid, I have the same thing, and I'm entitled to the same discipline. I'm entitled to the same advice. I'm entitled to the same love. And I think that's how the community should be. And when you hear the phrase in the African phrase, like it take a village to raise a child, they truly mean it. It does take a village. So for example, when I was growing up, I will go to the church or to the borehole and collect water and come back. And if I misbehave, when I come home, they'd be like, so you were doing this. And I was like, I thought back, I'm like, they didn't even have cell phone. How did they know? Because others people I were on me and they were disciplining me and they already reached home before I get there. So that is the resiliency I saw in our women, that like my child, it is the next person's child. And what is good for my child is what I want for the children. And so they did that in words and deeds.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And yeah, thanks again for your time and for all that you shared today. And I am just so grateful that we got to sit with you on this wonderful International Women's Day. It truly is a time to both celebrate and recognize all the work that needs to be done and own our role in that. So thank you for the ways that you just challenged us to think about those things differently and think about those things for our specific community as well. And thank you to all of our guests who joined us today. It was wonderful to have you here on this launch of our speaker series. We have 3 more events that we will be hosting, and we are just super excited. We have next week, Sarah Jane Herbold will be joining us, and she recently published her book, Don't Just Survive, Thrive. And this will be an especially great resource for parents and teachers. So we invite you to join us for that and for the rest of the series throughout the month. And if this is your first time hearing about Treetops Collective, we do invite you to visit our website at treetopscollective.org. There are many ways to get involved and partner with Resilient Women in West Michigan. Thanks again for tuning in, and we hope you have a great day.
Thank you.